All right. Tonight, I got a little bit of a sweet tooth, and it's been a long time since I've made candy, and I thought I would make some. I'm gonna have a lot to say while I'm making it because when you watch me make it, you'll see. If you ever watched a candy professional, it's not gonna be like that. This is gonna be more old-fashioned than old-fashioned. So, anyways, I'm gonna use a little, a helper to say more or less, but to make things real super simple. It's a simple Kool-Aid candy. So that's essentially what I'm making. I'm going to want to grab, I was going to use, my favorite is to use grape Kool-Aid to make this, but I figured it wouldn't work as well because of the darkness. So anyways, we're going to grab ourselves a saucepan, a good one, and you're going to want to get yourself the Kool-Aid that you're going to want to. Okay, so I grab a saucepan. Okay, so I don't know if I've ever explained, my pan has a thickened, maybe I should stand aside. You can see it has a thickened bottom there. Anyway, so this pan, I do a lot of my sauces, and it just holds heat compared to a, maybe something thin like this. It's just a thin bottomed pan or a pot. Anyways, grab yourself your Kool-Aid. I'm going to grab. They're just little, just little things like this, just a little packet of Kool-Aid, so I swore they used to say 8 grams, but this one says 6. So anyways, we're going to want that aside. Give them a little shake to get all the stuff down to the bottom. Alright, you can start your, better move it over to here. So we're going to start our pan. We can start getting it hot right away. I'm going to put it at medium heat is what I'm going to use right now. Now I should mention I haven't made candy in close to 2 years since I've actually made it, and I'll explain in another second what some other stuff. You're going to want a measuring cup and grab yourself roughly, I should show you how I do it. See, when I write a recipe out, I usually just, I just scribble on a blank piece of paper, I just use envelopes so I'm not wasting paper or anything. But anyways, I just write out pretty much what I'm going to need. You can see like another recipe there was one of the last ones that I did, and it's just to make sure I don't forget ingredients. But sometimes I have to actually modify the numbers, and that's why I put my ingredient list at the beginning of the video. It's because I might actually have to change things in here, especially if it's a recipe I haven't done in a long time, like the Alfredo sauce that was on the other one. I make that every 3 weeks or a month. But anyways, you're going to want, grab yourself, I would say, about a 1/4 cup of water in here. Alright, so I got about a 1/4 cup here. Now, I'm sure I'm going to need more than this. First, we're going to pour it in here, and it's essentially just covering the bottom. And you can barely see, all I've done is cover the bottom essentially in this. Grab yourself another 1/4 cup. Alright, I got about another 1/4 cup here. See? Yeah, about a 1/4 cup. Okay, now what we're going to do here is we're going to grab our sugar and put it in. And I'm going to put about a cup of sugar in here. Alright, so we're going to start our sugar, sprinkle it around. Alright, so these are thirds, my things are thirds. So anyways, I'm just going to put that aside over here. But I'm pretty sure it was about a cup. You're going to want a big spoon now. Now, the one thing I do remember when I made my candy was that you never want to add too much water, because the water is what you're going to be evaporating to make the candy here. I should say, when I made my candy and I stumbled upon it, now, if you see, I'm going to try to bring it over here. If you can see, it's just like frothy right now, like it's so thick you don't see nothing through it. Now what should happen, if I'm correct, is you're going to start to see it's going to lighten up and it's going to actually get clearer and clearer to a small point. Alright. And what we're trying to do just right now is dissolve the sugar essentially. Alright. It doesn't have to be perfectly dissolved, it just makes the candy so much better. Alright. I remember I used to always make double recipes too, because it was easier. So anyways, okay, it's just slightly thinner now, you know, like it's a lot better. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab some flour and this packet here and a small fork. All right. So now this is just starting to bubble here and there, and I don't know if you can see how it's still whitish, but it's gotten a lot more clear there, and it's not like you don't really tell the sugar's in it as much anymore. It's like almost all gone except for a few grains on the side. So anyways, we're going to start to lower down our just a bit, because I see the bubbles have started, but we're going to bring her back up a little bit again. So anyways, open up your packet, put it in here. Alright. Okay, she's bubbling in here. And now I'm going to grab a tablespoon, because I'm going to look about how thick I want this. Now this is bubbling. You can see it. It's almost looks clear wherever it's bubbling. So I don't know if you can see it's bubbling here. Okay. So it's completely clear. It looks like clear water right now almost. It's just the bubbles and the little bit of foam on the top are making it a little distorted. So anyways, we'll just set that quickly aside there. Now in here, I'm going to essentially make sure that that is all mixed and there's no clumpy of color in there. Okay. Now I'm going to grab, depending on your taste and how you do this, I'm going to put in 1, 2, I'm going to put in an actual third one here. Ooh, almost spilled it. That would have been a nice blooper again. Okay, I'm going to put in 3 right now. I'm going to mix this around. It's going to get thick. Now this here, when you do this, is almost going to smell like if you've ever had orange freezies. This is the smell. Now you want to do this to get all the lumps out of the flour, so you're not left with lumpy flour here. All right. Now I'm actually going to add a 4th one. Okay. Okay, so that's 4 tablespoons of flour. Now it says fairly thick if you see it. Okay. Now, grab a little spoon. Clean off your fork. It's funny, I've made all the other colors of candy from Kool-Aid except orange, I believe. It's actually a nice color. Alright, oh, just keep this nearby here. Alright, so I just want a spoon so I can scrape this out fairly quickly and get it all nicely cleaned. Anyways, I'm going to bring this back over to here now. Move the spoon aside, and I'm going to do my best to get this all in quick and mixed. Alright, so now we're going to start mixing. Use the back of the spoon to help you break up everything. You'll see how it just sort of starts to dissolve nicely. It's going to start to thicken. This is why I took it off the heat away from the bubbling action and let it cool down just a bit. It's going to start bubbling too now, and it's going to start thickening. All right, now you're going to add, it just started frothing up again. It's just gotten up there with the heat. Take yourself out your sugar, and it's going to help cool off everything. Right now, put yourself in another cup in here, and it's bubbling if you watch it. And one more cup of sugar in here. Now, I lift my pan up a little so it sort of stays off the heat. Now, what's going to happen here is because of the sugar being added, the second chunk, it's going to help break everything up as a grit while you do this part now. You'll notice it. You just might see a little lump to of the concoction there. It's just going to add like color, but it eventually will all get absorbed and everything too. But sort of just maybe looks like a little pulpy of an orange juice at the moment. You can see it's not too lumpy or anything like that. You know, like I say, it's not a perfect. Alright. Alright, now the heat's going to start climbing again on it. Maybe clean just a bit more here. See, I had the goo on the spoon, and it just, I'll show you again here. I'm sure I can get a little more. Alright, see, there's a little bit on the spoon. Just get in there and it's cleaned up. No problem. Anyways, you're gonna start to let this foam up. All you're gonna smell right now is candy in the house. Keep your sides as clean as pretty much possible, because it's gonna start to more or less caramelize and form on the side. Now, if you see this, I'm sure you can. It's starting to foam up. So I'm gonna grab myself cookie sheet, a baking pan like so, with a thin metal, because I'm going to want to give it a little bend later. And as you can see, this is almost foamed up to the top here. Now this doesn't look like liquid anymore. It actually just looks like a big thing of foam. It'll be the sides of your pan that start to tell you that the candy is cooked, because you'll start to see it is becoming candy. All right. Okay. Now you're going to see the bottom is starting to thicken up. It's going to start to, okay, because it's wanting to go now. It's starting to want to turn. Oh, we're a little off the side there. It tastes good. Yeah, I hear ya. You got the cat meowing upstairs at me. Okay, now we'll bring her back on here and boil her up again a little. Now what I'm going to do is get a little glass, clear, or you don't really need to, I guess. I was going to use clear to show you, but let's see if I can do it the spoon a little better here. Candy isn't the easiest stuff to clean. Okay, so anyways, we're going to take a spoon. Basically, we want it cold. We're going to put it in here real quick, back out. If you've ever dripped a candle wax, and we'll put it in here real quick again. Now, what just happened is I saw it slide off, like, see the goo? So I still know it's still too thin right now. And you want pretty cold water here. A lot of people have a candy thermometer. Oh, dropped that dish towel there. All right. And now I'm actually going to take a teaspoon. Try to just set it in the water to let it cool off. And then try to see its consistency. So you can see it's still really hot now. It's at the point of jelly now. A really thick jelly. Yeah? I hear you. Yeah, I know. Meow, meow, meow. Takes a little bit to harden in here, like time-wise. All right, you can sort of see now. It's if I was to say getting close to a texture there, it's starting to hit like a fruit roll-up texture, if you will. Malleable. Gummy worm, if you will. Right now is about where we are. Okay, let's see here if I can sort of show you. Pull it right off the spoon. There, okay. There. So you can see it's not hot anymore, but it's, you know, like essentially like a gummy bear. That tastes way better. Mm. Mm. The thing about these is they really get your mouth going. Mm. Mm. Should say that I sort of was trying to make first time I did this with cherry, I was actually trying to make oh, what do you call it? Well, red. I guess you'd call it red licorice, but you know, not black licorice, but they're, you know, the red vines and whatever. So, anyways, I'm gonna take this now. It's pretty much ready, and I'm gonna pour it into the bottom of this. Try to put it everywhere in here. Right. Should come out pretty nice out of the. Should come out pretty nice. Alright, so you should have a pretty clean pan. I gotta say one thing is put water and leave it right here on the stove. The only way you're going to get this sugar back is with heat, off with heat. So anyways, now we're just going to move this around a little. Alright, and you can let it cool off. You don't have to put it in the freezer right away because it's really, really hot and you wouldn't want to put that in the freezer. What I'm going to actually do is just put it on my counter until it gets close to room temperature, and then I'll actually put it in the freezer. And then I'll cut the take back and bring this back and hopefully show you what to do next. So anyways, yeah, just let that in there nice and flat, and you know, I would say, you know, it's only about you know, just let's say about that, you know, not even half a centimeter thick right now. So just set that on the counter, ceramic. No, don't put that anywhere that, you know, would melt anything, you know, on the counter that would melt. So anyways, clean this immediately because that's candy, and you need hot to take candy back off. But you ain't gonna get the candy back off. And you need probably a good SOS pad. But anyways, hope that was a nice little video. I'll come back and I'll show you when it's cold. I'll probably show you to throw it in the freezer, about the temperature that it hits, and then I'll probably make another quick little video when it comes out of the freezer. Alright, hope you like this. Alright, Now you can see now that it's it's warm, but it's not hot at all. Like it's not even warm. It's just like maybe let's say 80 degrees or something like that, maybe 70. So it's not actually that warm. Anyways, you can see that it's it doesn't wiggle or anything in the pan. I'm gonna set this in the freezer now, and it's probably gonna be in there at least an hour. Like I say, it's not very thick. It's only about a half a centimeter thick. Anyways, we're gonna stick this in the freezer, and I'm gonna let it really harden. All right. Right, should now be, essentially when it's frozen rock solid, what we're going to do is smash it, so I'll come back for a little bit of that, and a little bit more candy eating. Alright. Alright, it's just been about an hour, a little less. Pull this out of the freezer. Now, you can see now it's nice and hard in here. Clearly see from that sound from before. So anyways, I got a nice clean surface here anyway. That's all you gotta do. You see how it shatters up like that? You'll see it just shattered up. There's a few little pieces in here that might stay. Grab yourself a big fork. Grab yourself just a regular big fork, and you can just pop over any of that there. Okay. Alright. Any pieces that are too big, just like that inside there, or like that. Nice and simple. Nothing that's too big to go in the mouth that you wouldn't like. Remember I said how thick the candy was there, so now you can see how thick it is. So just break, that's a little too big, unless you're a really big person. Even that's a little too big. You're just trying to make little candies here. Alright. Now, I will just leave this in the freezer. And you can just put this in a bag. But you kind of want to leave it not so it stays clumped up together, because it will sort of stick together again. You'll notice it. Now, it's not going to stick hard like it's cooked. That's why you leave it in the freezer, so it doesn't stick together anymore. Anyways, just, pick up all your little pieces. I'm going to pick this all up with my finger and just eat it. But you can see now, just a little piece of candy like that. It's not very big, like I say, it's not very thick. Try to stand out of the light there, but so. I'm going to try to, if I'm going to describe it, it's like a Jolly Rancher at the very beginning, a really hard Jolly Rancher, and then you're going to feel it soften up to whatever texture you left it at in the cooking process. Mine is almost like gum. It's very chewy. Like a toffee. Super juicy. If you don't think it's sweet enough, I think it's really sweet. I thought some candies are way too sweet there, and they lack a lot of flavor. This, that's one way to make candy. It's pretty simple. You don't have to be perfect at it. I wonder if I can get a bigger piece to get a real close up here. So you can see, it's you can see there's other little pieces of candy stuck to it. But wow, it's like a real orange candy. If you ever had a hard candy, a little twist ones that and they're orange. This will be no different than those kind of candies, especially like your grandma had in the food dish bowl. Not the hard striped candies there, the hard candies. This is like the ones that would come with maybe a little bit of, not a syrup, but like a juicier middle there when you bit into it. This is exactly what it'll do for you. But, like you can see that it's not like it's melting in my finger or anything. You know, you could leave these out for a little while, but if you leave them in your finger, they end up going. I just like a piece like that you can stick in your mouth. I'm going to show you a slightly different candy on another video, probably. But I hope you like this one. Pretty simple and easy. I'll show you other simple way to make it in another video. Alright, hope you enjoyed this. Any comments, let me know.